87.9 PFM malunguli tasil sel merigi dolokoy ilata mo duk morsel talk show gid makuk mo algoy ngumsang arandi mo open na program gid kata malmol mkid mitikal to betsel okya gid nguli tasil sel randi.
Okay, malunguli tasil sel marbek la adro gultun ina IPFM Eco Paradise 87.9 1584 AM. Eso la do sa tema den tagim la ang lakra 2 PM and kita kuktara to betsel shorgid tial shorgid el anga mo masadra kumbali Palau Solar ang klik tel kumbali mangartelo mangeda el anga tigel adal tel kumbali direk lo obentri ra direk el adra NDBP ngarigel kukura toira loan sel mosep edel kukura mosmad mak abay di el altar mak payo di amaygel momsang angel el president tra Palau Solar el niya krera rong malungil litasils el legorgawe rubak
malungil litasils randi malmsaurate al mlosabam mel me edertial program me goro waisetial el program niya tiay del kumbali Palau Solar am ali lo bagela development bank el wal promote a solar energy mera ablay tial program wal ngariaw do del ngarabang gara NDBP makarla mosmaud di kumbali mama sel watmok sel babel ngarabang el mosabil wa tial Karla merablay emergong akong balir mam el Palau Solar atob de legong masa ablay adoel ablay erulia survey ma assessment tial adoel ablay direk radar PUC mutta direk mem tamsang aku tengira PUC meliwek la setian svel lotukura tial sistem el bodol arngira endi kombalir mam sel gulgoringa sagi mem agi assessra tial blay structure itself tiang adoel ablay la setiang msisi mergo sebel lotugur tiak klal ngaralu irak maul gad murur assessment tial ada agire del gut maklia ablay ma adoel sebel lotugur tial klagdal lu irak mang diagdalu tul mori pera adoe gutolu taiga msege assessment tamma klot putlil ma tegor adamam masablay lu assessment emergong wal isel sistem mora doel ablay rula design calculate ra cost guk mail mo al mal morabang mabanga guk mula gel guk tretele lalo meserngil gere la guk mo finance gi emergong from there guk mo mrula paperwork permits mangarara PUC ma arwa building permits ma igel bebira guk paperwork emergong sel makatmok mol ma sabel egmam egol itu tia sistem rabla PUC guk meru langar el guk connect ringil me mang maswe del uspe ringil el mo wal lo lang seur gidra dal makle del lo ba ara la dengira bli del merio lang mal la ara la dengira la time a solar available rablo adra vek sil sel mal swe del uspe ringil mil technology proven el lo uspe ringil ngosu gidra long term Tia randa mesin indiregal address ra tara problem kita facing ira abelau climate change ngora awal ngaringi ye del bebira tengil gotmo ka bebira ureur digotel moktegeri ase ngolong sera homeowner marala adengi gidel merio logi wa solar technology solar power ngara do lablay ngal rubal ngar bitar nga Mr. Russ Waddington el niya CEO ra utilize sel gombali nga England wal parent company ra mamra Palau Solar magit magal lowro rengya tira gukwal madamam raigel gukora ma bebi ranges ra ra kora igel gukwa technical ngesul sabil gukko sugmam ngi gere laigel gukora bebi ra isyustil gida mo face mungwal wa ngariar adlol seur gid ngarai krel belaul direl engineers mar electrical ma professional engineers ilmu sugid
ko milkara ko mo kadinge milkara ko obo tel ko to ko solar tiang ko ngaraw alel to ko marbe law
ka me bailbo Karla abang gawal ko ra initiate tial program logi wa national government makala mo miskit sa igid ko process ko mo sabedel ko ra
okay
mansulang kara ikan informational blamuay se sulang yung randir tial tial program adom godong ring ila se disaster resilient clean energy finance ito nga actually fund nara a government rasyabal elmira government trigidra belaw ko la NDBP as a implementing agency ulto dani as a low interest rate loan almura okyakal purchase ay del solar system edira kal harar cell installation cost ngi met install ngi apply mesela lo mu tel program ya NDVP ya ulta bedia RFP lo sigira suppliers vendors sabi supply kal equipment hindi kidira kal ni partra of the social program expand the capacity build the capacity belaw ne part ngi single vendor mo part del program agirel provide a training el mora local allowance hire team trigay dia mo install del system provide a maintenance mang ngari cell continuation at yal el program andi kadil install a system rabla kore el poringa problem waram ring lo siglo sigada al adami matmoklay ka so segi del RFP ramam gimut tabdi ya tegi del kumbali da intelligence ngara UK ngai del rasa si oringi amle win ra segi del
Kurawal bid.
البيت مسيجد الميد تماملي extend كلول time لو سيجرار أرنال جدار other بلا والمو part del team ملي 4 months training من جرو بقى إلين مسمودي لسين سيل training لين مالوني training المالمبتو أرنال جدار ملوني سرابون مريكين 12 بابل الهاير تير المو part del Palau Solar إلا Palau Solar oba FIB permitted tirin tira gidele utility sa wal mother company tira Palau Solar armor tira ngar bela no Mr. Tegi del program
Mati ako raw mo ko ra mo tira niya ang ato ko ra resilience ra emergency resilience ang lang ang claim walel
disaster
resilience oo ko ra wal sige ko ra wal plel el core lu ultial el wase dong bodo solar leng ngol ngol gida to ko ra disasters el so mang magim ta dengi malumang mata dengi yung ngilal nga nga white tagi del program el kutmukla
kasi ngwaral ko ra sige nga part ngindi sel ko ra mal mokte ngi sige dang ngol nga sera ara la dengi ra medio mundira kal wal help ra individual household dira kal dia kadil mo it taludo der ading giringi le selboring itel solar system ng ngangate aling moring ay kidele se sel daring laudo del ko ngoswira klada dalang okla ay kibla mo mesringil ay since set the program al mela ng na mo 200 over 200 tel systems am na matiu tel mura I think almost 100 tel household
wow okay
mengtrigay del household ki gora truck kaya nganya bebiletil gim truck kaya gidele bebiletil gora om se singara impacted tel system rel albal bora ablay savings la dengi tira average between 19% non mutra 26 27% manglool sel lem haraw ngi raw el mura PUC el albal boringa solar rablim en ngania savings raw enough el cover loan raw edira kal moringa sesel mede el balsab emlu ka neutral support ra dalang aklem takto la se savings ang bulgo la sing wal di instead ra utar rogil ludu dem ngul harara dingir kara PUC ngwa split ringingu seseringa mura PUC el harara dirga mede el balsem seseringa mo harara loan raw enga ngani sel otsudi ra kaw sebel tira kal help ra talang aklem so sige dawal ulal tel program disaster resilient clean energy finance el ludo dara siabal out of the uncle self funding Japan Fund for Prosperous and Resilient Asia and the Pacific ngal sige del fund del mura ADB ako kore imoryo loban tril gil tegi del maktabi tegi del program.
Okay. All right. So Ross, you're the CEO of Utilligence, And tell us a little bit about your company. How did you sort of submit your bid for Palau, and why Palau?
So, Utilligence is an international company. We have offices in the UK and India. We have over 1,000 employees. We got introduced to the ADB program, and it's a system where you have to pre-approve, and that took us 12 months to go through the pre-approval process. So you can't bid for work with ADB unless you've gone through the pre-approval process. So we went through that process, and then we were looking for island schemes where we can bring our full skill set to bear. So we bid for a couple, which we weren't successful on, and this was our third attempt when we were successful with the Palau. So it's a learning process. We learned as we went along, as we tendered.
What do you think? Why do you think solar systems fit islands very well?
They are the perfect fit for islands, especially islands located on the globe like Palau. Okay, with neon all year round, fantastic light, and relatively lacking in infrastructure. So installing solar gives you the ability to have more power. With more power, you can do more education, you can do more leisure, you can have more activities, and you can power more appliances the more power you have. So it's the perfect product for a nation where it's still building up its infrastructure. You get instant power built to your roof. And with that, you can do a whole host of things. So we work with the local schools as well.
Yes.
We're firm believers in education. So it's the perfect product, and it's gone through 20 years worth of development. So solar now is highly reliable. If you buy in bulk, as we've done on this project, you can get very good prices, and it's quick and easy to install. The skill with solar is to maintain. The easy bit is buying and installing it, and the skillful bit is having the patience to have the long-term maintenance plan in place, because that you'll get more life, you get more value from your product, and you get more free energy. And that's what we bring. So we bring a whole host of skills and techniques from around the world. We've worked in Australia, India, Saudi Arabia, Iraq, the States. So we bring a whole host of experience within the company. So when we did the training program, our engineers from India came out and helped. I was here as well, and we did the training program. So we and obviously in Indian communities, we work in very similar communities where the infrastructure was low, but the requirement for power was high. So we've got a lot of knowledge that we can draw upon, and the systems we design are built for these type of climates. So the sort of high humidity, high temperature climates.
So what's your goal in when you're training Palauans in this sort of field? Like, what type of things do you hope to train them on?
Yeah, so we don't say to people, this is the red bit and it goes to the blue bit and that goes to the green bit. We actually explain to them how all the technology works. So when it's not working, you'll know what to look for. You'll know how and why it's not working. Okay, it's no good. It's no good just training some monkeys. Yeah, we train engineers. We train technicians. Okay, so we want people. So if there's a problem, they can go there and they can systematically work through the system and find the problem. Okay, so it's not a week's training, not 2 weeks training. It was 4 months, high quality training. At the end, they had a global recognized certificate within the renewable industry, which they could go around the world and work with. Obviously, we want them to stay and work for us, but that availability is that to them. And they're highly skilled guys. They're very committed, and girls. They're very committed. They're very professional. They've got good customer skills because we work on that within the training program, and we're very proud of them. They're great. It's a great team.
So one of the things I'm hearing this is it's only covering a percentage of your power. So is there solar that covers all your power?
Yeah,
or
there is option. So depending, if you can generate enough, then you can have a battery and you can store, and you could be self-sufficient for 24 hours. But not everyone's got enough roof space to do that. Some people have. Yeah. So you got to think you need double the amount. So you need to generate to cover your needs for the day, and you have to have enough spare generation that you could store and use overnight. So that would be probably the next phase of the technology that comes in. Okay, so this is the quickest and easiest and simplest solution is to get as much solar in as quick as possible. then you can bring batteries and everything in afterwards.
Wow. Okay.
So
That's
get
great.
people used to the idea and believing in the technology. Take it step by step. Don't go rushing in. Take it step by step. Build up your confidence. Then build in the second generation batteries. Build in all the other products that come with renewables, and then you could be self-sufficient effectively.
One very important part of this is you mentioned maintenance. So
Very important.
you
Really
get the
important.
loan, and then you guys are available to help maintain
So
it.
part of our contract is that we designed a 6-monthly program. So we did analysis of Palau and the impacts. This is quite a corrosive environmental atmosphere.
Right, because we're next to the ocean.
Yeah.
We got
And
clay, salt clay type of soil.
So we went through a lot of data. Came up with the minimum is a 6-month program. If you don't maintain every 6 months, the system will start losing its performance quite quickly. And then after it loses performance, it then starts rusting and it starts breaking down. And even though all these products have been chosen to work in this environment, if you don't look after them, ultimately the environment always wins. It always wins. So you have to be disciplined with a disciplined maintenance program, which is what we've introduced. And the first installs were 6 months ago, and now they're getting their first maintenance visits.
Wow. Okay. So, let me just ask Karla real quick. So, tial loan al dollar ngi ang nga ko options ra akla mga tela time al do patia loan ang sabi di
Okay, so magsular a question ni Ron. So tial terms ra loan, maximum loan amount sa imalngu under a program 10,000. Gore igagi dele interest rate niya 4.5%. Number of years between 7 to 10 years. Also kung gokuk so man re dal pay off ra loan ra kaweng maldingin hindi ka penalty for that.
Oh wow.
Oo. Part tara igagi dele program di na kalking salo sing mal necessary tayo dal maintenance mang built-in almura igagi dele loan ra kawa aral sa dal maintenance.
So you do pay for the maintenance.
Right. So nga loan payment ra kal aral tiya loan.
I say.
On top of that nga about $11 to $12 a month and peringi ay kingulo tungira escrow account ra ka mustelabor liya maintenance ra ka ing top daw nga say dal escrow account mo harar sel require the maintenance every 6 months and wala ariya other Palau Solar. So the igal schedule ra installation ti that tira kam na ra calendar ti la say okay no installer karo nga mangoy nga nga ko murura maintenance. So tagi dal na mo 6 months sa program mang tirigan nila ko tal install alwi kitam ni start tayo dal maintenance visits el labol visit ra okay murula maintenance ti.
So let's say ako nga 10,000 tiyang di cover ra ikal equipment maro ko nga ko ra mo so ekalo spending ko arang nga ko ra all typical tetela at sila bara salungut yalo na.
Elatyal mlanya aral equipment itself my installation adabol 10,000. Nding mlangi sel additional fund loyang man up to 10 additional money sabi amal ngul ko ram kut makliya adwem mung sabi laklal wal aigal equipment talmoni sige dalo ko niya kare la sestela la bol survey rabli metamo mata assess lo sing ngara gidel kat magiling mo sabi tial equipment al murablim hindi kalaklolo daw damang tamam ta assess ringi yal so mang sa LD ko within sige dal 10,000 ko ring to dal muharara kat mo per sige dal uriya raw era ko kal bol install ra solar system ra.
Okay.
Yung nga sabi so man ka problem yung less than 10,000.
All right. So what are some of the things that I should watch out for if I'm installing my solar system to my roof? What are some things that I should do prior to get my roof ready? What are those things that you would be spending money to kind of prepare for?
Yeah. So one of the sort of the biggest issues, and because of the terrain here, is obviously shading.
Shading
from the trees. Yeah. So when the guys come and do a survey, they will look at all the shading issues, and they might say to you, look, that tree might need to be cut back a bit, because if the panels get shading, then the panels do stop working. So shading is a big issue.
Wow.
Okay.
Because it has to be under the sun.
Yeah, it has to
Completely.
be, it's direct light. So solar works when it's cloudy, okay?
Right.
And it works when the sun's shining. It works better when there's no cloud, but it still works because it works. The panels work on visible light. So the spectrum they work in is the visible light spectrum.
I see.
Okay, so as long as there's light, they are working. Sometimes it's really cloudy and overcast, less. Really bright, works really well. Yeah, Palau gets a mixture of weather, so the panels are always going up and down, but they produce a lot of power because it's a perfect environment. So shading is a big issue. Then where you place them on your roof is important. Yeah, so where the sun rises and falls, you really want the panels to be facing that as much as possible. The third thing to think about is where your meter is. So if you've got a meter on the side of your house, that's great. It's just a short cable run for us to get to that meter. If you've got a meter at the boundary, then there might have to be like a trench dug so the cable can go up to the boundary to meet your meter, because PPUC are only connect at the meter. They won't connect inside your house. So we have to run the cables back to the meter. And in the original early days, it was a 2 meter solution. You had your supply meter and the export meter from the solar. Now PPUC have got a bi-directional meter which goes both ways. So it's only a 1 meter solution now. Okay, but where your meter is located can incur extra costs because of the extra cable run required. If you've got a 2 or 3 story house, again, that might cause issues as where exactly the panel's going to go. But we always find a solution. There's always a solution in Palau. So
Right.
it's not that we can't find a solution. It's just there is a solution. It's just whether it's what you want. So if a tree might have to come down, you might not want that to happen, and that's fair enough.
Now, right now, Palau Solar has about how many employees, and how many of them are you? How many of them are already like trained to
we
do
have
all of this?
15 employees. 10 of them are installers, trained installers. 2 of them are trained supervisors. We have an electrical engineer that worked for PPUC before now, works direct for us, and we have 2 people in administration.
Wow.
And Greg, obviously, as our president.
All right.
So yeah, and it's building. So the more work we take on, the more people we take on, but they'll have to go through the training program.
Yeah. I think right now a lot of people do know that solar is the way to go because it saves you a lot of energy, and of course it saves you money. And it also helps you throughout any emergency. Yeah, whenever we have emergencies, typhoons, all that stuff, number one thing is the power goes off. So I think this is one of the biggest things that I think people really need.
I have to correct you there. So
Yes.
So the system is what we call grid tied.
Uh-huh.
I don't want people to get the wrong impression.
Okay.
Okay. It's grid tied because it gets an earth reference from the grid. Okay, and you're exporting back to the grid.
So what does that mean?
So it means if the grid goes down, okay, then your power would go down as well.
So the grid is the power, the island power.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So when the island power goes down, then your solar power will go down.
Exactly, unless you've got like a battery installed.
Unless you have a battery installed.
So
So
like I said,
those can be arranged
Exactly,
to help you
And
in
they're
terms
saying
of emergency.
like,
Okay.
it's stages. So the first thing is to get the solar in. Yeah, the grid occasionally does go down, I know.
Uh-huh.
But most of the time, if you've got solar installed and the grid's just flickering and having, all the time it's flickering, that you'll have good power. Yours won't be flickering because you've got good power. Okay, only if the grid goes off all the way would you then go off as well, unless you've got a battery supply.
Wow.
Okay, so we don't give people the wrong impression.
Okay, yeah.
You can. So you have a grid tie system.
So the main focus for this is that you start off with saving power.
Yes, saving money.
Yes.
Yes.
And then, but you do have an option to help somebody prepare sort of a battery backup and all that stuff to help them with emergencies.
Yes.
So those are available
That's
because of
available,
solar power.
Yeah, but because you need to generate the power first of all.
Yeah.
Or you could just buy a battery and charge it from PPUC and wait for the power to go down.
Okay.
So there's other options, but stage 1 is to get the solar installed.
Okay.
Clarify something
Oo, kapong.
hindi swakal mo to clarify sige it's a grid system solar home
Oo.
program. At this stage, yung gigidal girela adengi generator ngi otavdil mora PPUC e ore tira eka ospera dengira PUC esel altemir el mebri dara metto raka wetto meser sel klungel umulus peringi maklungel oblem generator ngi MU net ngi e bil rakaw. Hindi kalbor sel point el dolara batteri ngi segukla madakal part tel program
I see.
amalara batteri el boring ang akuk mo real time malbaring available al program ay yuguk announce ngi lasing na mo sa pedal guk advance mo say another alternate program hindi dakuram lum sa da metor sera before before ang le girel tablong a metor kawe sel metor el walo nguibra klungela dengil lakaw usperingi makukwan ra metor el munguyur sel klungela dengil la generator niya solar system rakaw sel level ngay kay gid tablol reading eta minus segi del momenta el segi da wala bil raka PUC ella tedira kal adara PUC pa imla moringa be sel metor tillo likay del bi-directional mandiwan el metor e oiwia luz pairing e dira kal oiwia blem generator ngi mo say
Oh, okay.
and the one ra a part of the program at this time assume go togen ingira del convert tel metor kal mo
Lagi dal ko kumaogen niya kasi mal sum ko daw togen.
oy
Oo, magara daw spare tel solar.
ingira del convert ra kaki del metor kal mo tegi del bi-directional meter indira ka el al time indira ka bol sa bela PPU sil merur segi del ngara togen ngara solar oy so angari ya ultasol marut tringa PUC tral address segi din dira ka alboring ya a solution na may el al time ngari dinga ngara segi del conventional meter el bi-directional.
Okay, magkita el amal wadi del kadangara ako raw alel tial programmer ba kaya kado ko nga selwal al initial part tial introduce ra solar mervelaw mang tokar adal ko ramla so usable mo ra tokar solar hindi gumesel ngiya mukti tiang amal al ng seurar adra blura tokara ala denki.
Ngwaising ngolong seurar adara blu e osi sultan segi del molgorin la segi kad introduce tial technology el tiagi del ulel guk to sparing produce adengil meragri de mergo sparing sel langaria dengira PUC and this segi del second step as we go along at tiagi del le el al time so emel di mra el mora kumbali mara system lo bungel la batteri mara un melo lera adoe mandia kam necessary el bora PUC sebel ndi mri la ra le batteri el al time amri la ra ma ulas wala kasi kada ngutial mesubi makada mo mdangli lo aset tiang malwang ara production mangara igel wa benefit sa del marelal connect mora grid ra PUC ya le gidaw ma mesa batteri le kada mesa ara la batteri maral merio ndi el al time sa del itu tia batteri mera solar en overall lo toda dengil igel muspe rablay ngaringil available ndi tel program lang asa igid gukti
Focus sa segi del di olong seura apply el mo rio ara
el medio ara la dengi ngi try reduce au uspalela fossil fuel rabelau medio kaya sal di uspe alu do la re kril velau me.
Okay. All right. So Ross, I guess they clarified that it's really the program is really just to focus on just sort of helping people with their electricity rates and bringing that down. That's sort of the main focus. And I know you've probably worked with many countries, developing and probably developed countries as well. So how do you see this progressing as solar power is being introduced?
That's the same. It's the same proposition for everyone around the world. 90% of the population are grid tired. Yeah, so they all install solar to reduce their bills. And ultimately, when they've paid off the loan, to have free energy, it's the best. It's the best sort of deal out there in the market. So the last 6 months we've installed 200 systems. We just had another 400 delivered. People want to improve their lives. They want to reduce their costs. Yeah, power prices are only going one way all around the world. Power prices only go up. They don't go down.
So do you see a lot of satisfied customers in the other countries that are saying that
Yeah.
this is great, this is what we really planned, because this is a big investment as well for a lot of Palauans. So
It is. Yeah, no, and if the payback wasn't as good as it is, it wouldn't be attractive. But it's the same proposition around the world. The only reason people invest in it is because the payback is so good, and it's a no-brainer in effect.
Yeah.
If you can if you can get the loan, it's a no-brainer. You know, I have solar where I live back in the UK. I drive an electric car. You know, the future is coming, and it's at a price point now where everybody can afford. So my advice to everyone listening is: there's 400 systems just come on the island at the best deal you're going to get around the world. 4.5% you can't get anywhere in the world. Okay, it's on your doorstep. You know, you've got a local company going to install it and look after it. You know, you've got your local bank going to give you the best deal in the world. It's a no-brainer. There's 400 kits. Like, don't miss out, because once it's gone, it's gone. Once the money's gone, it's gone.
That's right. Yeah.
So contact the bank or contact us. We'll give you the details and get with the program and start saving money. That's the main thing.
There you go. All right. So akong sa solar power, akong saying it's very straightforward. It's not. There's nothing really there to really discuss, because solar power is
saving the planet as well.
Saving the planet as well,
and you're saving money.
and saving money. Yeah, I think this is a great timing, you guys. We had a solar eclipse right now, and now we're talking about solar power. So I think it's great timing that you guys are here. Solar power. Wana ko mention nga Karla, tagid 4.5%. Oo, makamkura di mo to reiterate tagay kita kura details gilal tial loan kura wangara nga process sumen so kali ko malala loan.
Okay, so self-term loan sige dal kulo ko nila sa maximum kung nila loan sa ML mo 10,000 number of years terms loan up to 10 years. Yeah, interest rate 4.5%. Sige dal ludo sa loan mo sa maaray kal equipment dira kal haraw installation cost ni gore once the loan is paid off, and then all of the savings is yours. Manghalik ko di OI sa tetelela how with the apply ra loan So el time al suko mo ka interested ra loan ko mo tang di ko ra banka 5873955 maging wang claim madeng warakaw schedule ra appointment tarakaw sel omega ko la ba ikakitali bill ra ding girakaw la kada mo spare say gidal calculate ra whether in sa ML nga 1 kit malubon toolkit ila under the program in sa ML nga 1 kit generate an average 192 kilowatt ram a month abol tablong kit tarakaw in sa BL generate nga 385 kilowatt Aikel generation ng gulo kaya ikay double deduct ra bill ka. So I go spa ay gidali bill ra din gilakaw mun sa amel ko ra calculate lasing ka eligible ng wawan at kit alubon toolkit. Le suko mo ka kaya tingil mo nga ringi abay da kal warrant malara solar system ling end up ako pay mo haraw ra chlora loan ra versus ra equipment. Magsegi da ki mo spending calculate o mis eligibility ka sel pol set up per sel appointment ka wa NDBP ma o me kakatmok lola ba tila ay gitali check ka ma babira ut ma da ka dula sem babira ut mel podos pa iga al mo secure loan ling igal equipment ta mo secure loan di sel babira ut mawalo tila se applying lilta madengi tel account tra using account tra ang ing sabel account tra let's say sabel account tra dala hindi nga kaswakal albor nga solar rabla dala yan sabel apply on her behalf hindi gila den mo nga single account ato sa
yal nga alis
man di ngin as long as single homeowner ngay gida apply for the loan.
Okay.
Ning andi suko maka rent tra apply sige ding gidel own rabla may apply
gel owner landlord self lal
yan gigi dabay may apply ma system mo ko clear card rabli Even though alone na di 10 years, and the equipment tasab lower up to 20 years. So, sige daw ulama. Ngigigid ngalmay,
So tilangang ngosisiwil mo na kumbali.
ilalta may kamal di housing,
Mura-
housing, yeah?
residential.
Housing.
Okay.
Hindi na kakalbo rin sige dal, ang aling da solgide la commercial, hindi na kagibor sige dal time. Ilalta may gimal di, dal program mo kumal di mura residential,
Okay.
customers. Igigid dal information ngalmay, ako lagi rula igigid dal calculation lo otila se alboring igigid dal solar system rabli may nga savings realize ringi aluban dia kaya ko ka make a decision na sing so amal proceed aluban dia lakora di miskawat talgibid siya singira actual bill okya kal
I
nga
see,
solar
yeah.
niya so ang kal okya ka ana talas tal bill niya uluspe klungila dengi uluspe niya 807 kilowatt ya system niya amle generate tangara 419 kilowatt laktilula se atukit generate 385 say actually average. Then dida kal din mo yura klungyo layang adeng sab el morba malubang sa el merion di segi dal 385 wal kura.
Sekura average.
Ningal okya kamle generate 419 kilowatt mang sel la Palau Solar lulus per segi dal 807 ya bil ringira PUC amne rumutra $351.34. Ko lang mo rin nga PG still 10% ng wal 386. All gumanda Palau Solar. Lam na lo atukit el solar system rabli, limlet generate 419, mabil tungila kilowatt el bila PUC rin nga 388 kilowatt. Mang se calculate rin nga bil rin nga PUC 156.52.
Wow.
Ko of course the PGST 172. But sige dia selmle
Almost
savings ringi 214 na savings ringi
214. Yeah.
ya arala yagi dele sige del maximum 10,000 over 10 years and 4.5%. A monthly payment ringi 115. So savings rakal 214 yakam ahara NDBP loan rakal 115 nga actual savings rakal $99.
Wow.
So sige dawal ko ra aklong yolet tial program dia kalbe saludo da bumulto del harara loan ng self savings ka sige da gidal sa bel harara loan ka sige dal calculation lagi ol murungi selami okya ka magimal askertila si selomi ko ma biladeng gila kami mo ka mesra aklong ila podorut tingila sa ka sa emel nga wanat kit sa emel nga toolkit nga savings ka malubon dia sige.
Okay.
Aki mal tel program ada kadil NDBP Palau Solar maruring il program ay dira ka los pera adara PPU siling ay ka grid tide mingida del malara kanyeti del install la solar abli de generate el feed in el mura grid ma sel okyak sel me ki help bring il process apa bilngel ra sige del application ng PUC, sige del sumakangar oryo ng application ng mumlara building permit. Ko ko durok kol mura Palau Solar, Palau Solar ako may muruli sige del survey, complete title form. Ko retira ako mal mo submit sige del agency, ko iltitri ra mulay ke library. Ko process ra loan, ko move forward from there. So ako klungwel tiyang sa okya ka maldimir NDBP lagi nga self help ringil kutmok lagi rogul babel eng marail ko rek Palau Solar PUC igel other agencies ako krumut taigel giram kutmok sel gim lutroger okya ga yasem ro moral me mla approval on ro ga sign na babel magi ko karmulay gide eng marail ko ya Palau Solar ako mo schedule se mamtale ko nga ko install la system matamam te install kasi ngoy nga ada PUC ako me commission la system mang klungyolet yang okya kada kabol gibom expect ringi remote taigal kakarusel agency mala document certir mga tamal di mirapa nge kamam matrakay kidal gi partners ra kamam Palau Solar PPUC ako maklaba bilngel ko yung proceed from there.
All right. Daka kung dasang mal.
That's based on a maximum 10,000. That's based on a maximum 10,000.
I see.
Not all loans are 10. Quite often they're 8,000, aren't they? And,
Right. Not all
and-
loans
and-
are gonna get the whole.
No, they don't need to because like the 10,000 is if lots of different things need to be done.
Right.
Okay, so it's 10,000 the max, but most of I think loans come around 8,000,
Yeah.
8,500, and so therefore your savings are even greater
Yeah. Definitely.
because your loan payment's less. So.
All right.
Randy aksuakal ko ra ukti Palau Solar kumbali liregel merula bebi raur. Of course it ay del solar home system relang awal main luriol gimungot muk.
I see.
Hindi wali waigel blalo ay sa rasagi FIB licensed. Elang kukuram lo mention na commercial. Mang sabaam ngoswira adel nga niya commercial building ngi. El me agi mol asesra diregel adwe labli. Engo suir diregel gut maklia wal design ra solar system el mor adwe la angi dil.
Oh, material programa wal nga ngi hindi Palau Solar nga ngi ako pekpengin na services sila provide
Sa mga provide
Okay.
mokra ku kigel ilakar tiya igidil ku
Program.
development bank
Oo,
project. Mga aktel mo ko siya ngi dil adlo rin si commercial building malu establish commercial operator sa el may
I see.
malu benggol mam me agi mall directly assessment tertial building ringi lo tertial building kau wangarak lungel sistema sa el mura adwela apply di regel lo benggela PUC la assessera ku capacity ra tial blim ra role la dengira PUC may emergo kadrulia design magora di regel cost estimate ra
I
tial
see.
commercial building kau sabi melgu mura awanggal eskertil gere la financing ri malo ben so amul ngosugaul sigia adal financer tial el building kau. I'm telling Randy about the other aspect
Yes.
of our
The other
company that
services,
we can do solar. I mean commercial
Commercial, we can do
service
standalone.
and standalone.
So we
standalone
have
sige.
this project, but as a company, you have other services and other options.
A wealth of products and services we can provide.
Yes.
Okay.
Available lagi narbelaw. Kumal di.
So what? Yeah. What's the number and how do we contact
Kailang
Palau Solar?
Palau Solar 587-2270. Agi located sel tugil el mortial molra surang al ngara Ngetkib Airai. Ngara building al sel tuak.
Sel kurapa es el building.
Sige el building.
Oh, so parang mo nagkakaroon ng blal. Okay.
SBU anytime me drapay. Kadu kura adadu mergo me. Mesa igel guk kwaso mule services sa bamul provide agi ngosu mule girela. Ang idil kura igel guk sa pedo butbok. Hindi mal partner mama development bank pusit tiya igel guk program elal dala.
Just repeat that number one more time.
587-2270.
2270.
Palau
587
Solar.
And if you've got any
2270.
queries and that, just people, Shiro went through the training course. He can answer all your questions.
Okay.
Okay, he's not just somebody who answers the phone. He's a trained installer.
All
You've got
right,
a question, he will answer it for you.
Okay, so also mong somilo mo kadong almong yung kukti o get tigel ngal karbela ngar say tigel ngal karbela dire kal train dero ba ko say hindi ka
Tamal
sabari.
trained, fully trained, sabil musugaw. Ako klaga ang agi moral mutal trigal guk.
Oo,
Bebira,
musika,
expert. Sabil maski tayo gigit bebira.
Okay.
Answer kita malos.
Okay, hindi ka kunda sa yung namungila kunda sa kadakuran la smata giro kulkura talang tingil tial Palau Solar tiya kumesa ngiru bagay mal cloud to telele mal el mal mangal improve abek pedengela tokor bela like tokora dengue ma tokora emergency ma tokora disaster lagi del kora dul south akun kumesa kad mal el improve agi del cook efforts agi del girel mang kumal masulang al kuram no sa amil may share yagi del kurang ngilul das mangil isel yagi del Palau Solar Company. Kurang nga last del so mo. You guys have any last sort of tips or any last sayings that you want to share?
My only tip is don't miss out.
Don't miss out.
It's the best deal you're ever going to get.
Yes,
Don't
I
miss
see,
out.
yeah.
Please, there's a kit with your name on it. Come down and claim it.
All right. Okay.
see.
Rubakal nga last del so mo.
Hindi ako sige de, hindi ko malam sao lagi sige del dolgoringi. me nakaswese ada dul kire la yel kora muspe mergo nge do mes la sikat magrada kayo seul kora sabe del improve klangara tamatang aku mesra kita ada la kada mal murtra role la ma do ora dalong ok se ide atara umilte al doru la blida migrelat malu do ko renovate do mes la se te agida la atara sabe el parte se ide Google dal bari. Yide ko malm saura tial opportunity mo so il.
All right, tamang 2270 adeng warsay and then NDBP adeng warngi sentela ngi Karla
Tengwar ka mama 587-3955.
3955.
Yak mal invite rar okya ka maloko le mal set up appointment se da get the process started malungil tial.
All right, thank you NDBP, thank you Palau Solar for joining us, and thank you to Utilligence as well for coming down to Palau to the paradise to help us.
It certainly is paradise.
Yes, thank you for helping us become more pristine. There we go. Okay, hindi mlay kita kukuram na sa edel share o man sulal tun in iktal tukubet sel shorgi dre el al sil sel niya Thursday. Back to you, Spide.
Okay, seguido ulo pangalila talk shore gid, tiang am naringil ongyawa lurior, lugop singil ongyawa albuy nila 2023.